You're listening to the Business Mike podcast. Amazing interviews with entrepreneurs and industry thought leaders.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Mike podcast. And joining me today is Evas. Evas, can you just let the listeners and viewers know a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Thanks, Daudi. I'm excited and happy to be here. I'm an experience-driven person. That simply describes who I am. An experience-driven person, very passionate about customer experience. And I believe that it's the best business strategy for any business to thrive. I'm a member of the Customer Experience Professional Association Global. I'm a certified strategic experience leader, and I consult in CX, that is customer experience. And I'm a mentor in mindset change. I have a work span of over 10 years in the customer experience space, that is banking, consultancy, and currently in the energy sector. I work with UMEME as a customer experience and relationship manager. UMEME is a power distribution company, the biggest in the country. And still in UMEME, I also do internal trainings for staff under CX. So it shows you the level of which I'm very driven when it comes to CX. So my education background, I have a master's in business administration and some other courses in leadership. In my free time, I read, travel, like being around family, and not forgetting that I'm a wife, a mother, a Christian, and a Rotarian. So basically, that's pretty much about me. And on the other face of it also, I'm a farmer. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for that introduction, Evas. A question I ask all my guests is how they ended up in the space of customer experience, because very few of the professionals practicing right now knew that they were going to be doing that from the get-go. So how did you find yourself in this profession and the field of customer experience?
That's a very good question. Like I said in my introduction, that I'm an experienced person. So when did I discover that I was an experienced person? University, got my first job where I was a sales rep in a banking institution. So I discovered that I was doing well at my job because of just giving people an experience. A customer walks to you, you ask them what they want, and somehow you find you're solving people's problems. And I didn't know it was probably something I was very passionate about, but I realized it was giving me results. And the fact that the customer would go happy, for me, that was a win. And then the winner was a customer coming and telling me, oh, Evas has referred to you by so and so, you helped them. So I'm here. Can you also help me? For me, that was very fulfilling. And I realized that in life, it's about the experiences we give people. And of course, experiences cannot be forgotten. We all know that. So I found myself going into customer experience because I was very passionate. I loved it. It was very fulfilling. And then I started focusing on how can I grow my profession in customer experience. And then the rest is history. Yeah.
Right. And what you mentioned there is very important because people were drawn to you because of the experience that you shared with them at that level of professionalism. When it comes to the higher level, even organizations today are slowly picking up on the fact that the real value in retaining and attracting more customers is by having and delivering very good customer experience. So why do you think customer experience is that valuable at the strategic level? Why is it critical for organizations to always embed and CX strategy as they roll out their objectives?
Okay, so I can give you my experience. Some time back, I planned a holiday. It was not a long holiday per se, but just away from home, a short break with family. So we booked into a resort. But by the time we went to the resort, I had done all my bookings online, even went to the resort, did my reservations. Everything was okay. So we get to the resort and they send us to our room. Getting to the room where I had booked with my family, it was totally different from what I had reserved. So I called the manager. I'm like, we can't be in such rooms. And yet we reserved. I came here. I specifically indicated the room, and you indicated that it will be available on that day. But now what you're giving me is totally different. Already there, I'm getting frustrated because I have children. We are here for a short break. And first of all, the whole experience from the word go is not good. And this is a very beautiful resort. So as I was asking this manager, can you get us something similar? He's like, no, we are on our peak period. We have very many customers. The rooms are booked. So you either have this or we can't do much. As we're having that discussion, of course, the supervisor came in. Of course, when he looked at us, he realized that something was not going on well. So he comes and asks me, he's like, Madam, I see you have children. What is the problem? How can I help? So I take him through the whole story. And the fact that he approached me, it was a sign for me to show that this guy was very empathetic with me and my children. So he comes, I tell him the whole story, and he's like, no, I will have to do something for you. Just give me a few minutes. You have children. So I don't want them to, just hate the space. A few minutes came, he called us, he took us to a better room. It was a cottage. Basically, he just turned the whole experience in a short time to better it. First of all, he was very empathetic. He appreciated the fact that I had children. And from a customer experience point of view, that whole experience that this gentleman gave us, first of all, was a lasting one. My children were happy. I was very happy. The short time we were there, the gentleman used to come and check on us to ensure that we are okay. Initially, I had told my children that, we can never come back to this place. But by the time we left, my children were saying, Mommy, when are we coming back? This place has been so nice. Have been so nice to us. So going back to your question, customer experience at a strategic level. When we talk about strategy, we are looking at long-term results. And for every business to sustain itself, it has to look at long-term results that can sustain the business. And that's when customer experience comes in. And customer experience, it's that whole experience you give someone that they will never forget how you made them feel, that they can refer you to someone else. So here we are looking at that whole experience this gentleman gave us. Was it something that he does for all customers? No. But if he realizes that you're not getting what you paid for, of course, something has to be done so that you can really feel the value for your money. And now we see most companies are now embracing customer experience at a strategic level, because now we've moved from products and services being like a differentiator to what kind of experience are you giving to someone? Yes, the same product you have, someone else will have it. Probably it's even the same quality, but how are you extending this product and service? Because at the end of that day, as much as I'm paying you my money, I don't want to feel like I'm paying it when I'm bleeding, like I'm spending my money in pain. You understand? So that has been one of the major things, that CX is now a very big differentiator, and it's no longer about the product and service. Yes, the product should be good, quality-wise, the service should be good, but the whole experience from the time the customer approaches your business to the time the customer receives the product or service they are purchasing. And then we are seeing the world being a global village, something that we have to be very cognizant about. So if I can't get it from you, I can get it from someone else. And so what is the whole experience? Is it seamless? Is it convenient for me? Am I getting this product and service at my comfort? You understand? So that's why we see the whole digital space becoming very active. People are putting their products and services online, because at the end of that day, people have options. And now, for example, if we come to Ugandans have traveled, they have experienced, they know what is good and bad, and they have very many options. So CX becomes a strategic, something very strategic that businesses have to embrace for the long term. Then we are looking at customers who come, consume your product once and then disappear. That is churn. Every business would want to reduce the churn or have no churn at all. You understand? So if I come and the experience is good, the product is good, I will be a repeat customer. I'll have to refer to other customers, that is word of mouth, and you will end up even retaining the customers that you have. So we're seeing that all these are long-term strategic elements that are coming in as a result of a good customer experience. So I want people not to think as customer experience as you come to me, I smile, how are you? How is your day? Here is the product, buy. No. It has to be a long-term, it has to have a long-term impact on their businesses. And that's why executives, people in the C-suite should really take it very serious. Yeah, that's a little bit I can talk about CX at a strategic level.
Thank you for that, Evas. And using the story that you shared, I'd like to highlight a key component that you mentioned, whereby one member of staff wasn't helpful, and yet someone else in the very same organization was ready to help you. And that ties back into what you had mentioned at the introduction of your profession, where you mentioned that you often train staff internally, and that it's something that perhaps this entity could have done, such that each and every one that faces customers understands the importance of delivering a good experience, because God forbid the other gentleman wasn't around, that whole experience would have flipped the other way around. So I believe internal training is something that is critical to helping staff appreciate and understand the value of CX. And on that point, I'd like to find out from you, through maybe some of the trainings that you do, what are some of the key areas that you focus on, especially for those people who are not necessarily in direct contact with customers? How do you explain how valuable what they do is to the customer in scenarios where they don't even meet the customers? Why would they care anyway?
Yeah, that's a very good one. And probably one thing I forgot to mention at the start of this, when we talk about customer experience, people should appreciate that it begins with the employee. That is the employee experience. We can't talk about customer experience and forget the employee experience, because it's the employee that is going to deliver this service to the customer. So it's inward out. So when we are training our staff about customer experience, they're not front facing, but whatever they do, directly or indirectly, contributes to the experience the customer is going to get at the end of the day. Now, when we are doing this, we want our staff to appreciate that customer experience, number one, is not just a department and say, this is a department that only takes care of the customer. We want our staff to appreciate the fact that we exist as a business because of a customer. And whatever they do has an impact to the kind of service. For example, where I work currently now in UMEME, I'm not an engineer, but power distribution, 80 or 90% is technical. You understand? And the technical people will just go to the field and serve the customer. But there's a lot that happens back end. So if a technical person is supposed to go and make a connection, okay? But supply chain has not provided the materials, how will this technical person connect? And then how will the customer-facing person at the front desk be able to tell the customer, look, yes, there's this pending connection, and it's going to take me this time for you to have the connection. Meaning that the service advisor is not in control because they don't issue materials. They're not the ones who connect. For them, they're just there to manage the customer. So if from the supply chain part or from the finance part, they're not playing their role, that means even the front desk person is not going to deliver. So we make them appreciate the fact that whatever they do contributes to the final product or service or the experience that we are giving to the customer. And then it's ripple effect, because if you're not serving the customer and the customer does not come back, so where do you expect even to get your salary at the end of that day? Because it's this customer who has bought your product that they are going to buy again, and they're going to refer you to someone else that probably you even get a salary. So they have to appreciate the fact that it's not about the front desk person, but whatever, it's just a line. It's a line of different activities that lead to the final service that we render out to our customer. So staff have to appreciate that. And before they appreciate that, you also need to know that, are they in the right mind state position? Are they ready to deliver on this work, or they have some challenges that are really affecting them from delivering? Are they empowered? Is the question. Are they empowered to be able to even just do the work they are supposed to do? So those seem to be small things, but they really, really impact on the way the internal customer is going to serve the external customer. So basically, that's what we look at. We have to first empower our internal customers, make them appreciate that whatever they do has an impact on the kind of service probably the front desk person is going to offer, or the technical person in the field is going to solve a problem or serve whatever it is. So basically, that's what we look at, but it has to be in-out.
Yeah. And what I'm getting from you as well is the fact that this is a collaborative effort. In other words, the well-being of the customer is not just squarely on the customer experience manager, and that's it.
Exactly.
It's the human resource manager, all the supervisors, and everybody pulling together in one direction to satisfy the customer, not necessarily just your role. So I think that is quite important to note as well.
Yeah, very true. And you see, these other departments, you need to also make it so clear to them that, look, once we don't have this customer, it's going to impact on their operations. They will not have the finances to run their daily businesses. So a lot of collaboration is really required if you're to do CX. You can't talk about CX when there's no collaboration, teamwork, empowerment of staff. Yeah, you can't.
Right. Finally, measurement of customer experience. For those that are listening to this that are curious as to how do you measure customer experience, many people in the C-suite, like you said, are money-driven. So they'll probably think to themselves, yes, we appreciate that you're saying this will bring money down the line, but how? And how do we even measure that the efforts you're putting in are yielding success? So what are some of the tools that, for those that aren't aware, are used to measure customer experience and make sure that you're on the right track?
True. For every business, for sure, we know money talks. When you're trying to vie for something, you're trying to push for something, everyone will ask you, where is the return? Until you prove to them where the return is coming from, then they will give you an ear. And it's important really, because every business needs the finances. But you see, with customer experience, it's a perception. It is a perception, and this perception can only be obtained from understanding what is the customer saying. And with customer experience, understanding what is the customer saying, that is the voice of the customer. We have some matrices that we usually do, we carry out. So we do surveys, and these surveys will give us the customer satisfaction index. Will give us the net promoter score. Satisfaction index is how is the customer satisfied with the product or service. Then the net promoter score, can the customer refer us to any business? And with these, they are at a strategic level. You're just getting the perception. And at a strategic level, the customer satisfaction, NPS, the problem has already happened and you're trying to resolve it. Now, return on investment can be seen in two ways. At a strategic level, whereby the results that you get from the customer, that is the feedback from the voice of the customer, you use that feedback to understand the root causes. Now, when you understand the root causes, you are preventing these scenarios from happening again. When you're preventing these scenarios from happening again, you're helping the business from injecting in more money in resolving some of these problems that are recurrent or that are repeats. So at a strategic level, it's all about getting this feedback and then studying the root cause. That is one of the ways that you can help the business recoup money or save money from save money as a result of having few of these issues coming through, because now you're dealing with a real issue, the root cause. Then we also have whereby the problem has already happened and you're trying to resolve this issue. Yes, it may be costly. By the end of the day, you're ensuring that it does not repeat. So with return on investment for a business, we are saying the business puts in money And then the gain out of the investment is what we can call probably return on investment. Yes. And now you have to prove a point that probably we've invested in a system, and this system, if the turnaround time was 4-5 minutes for someone to receive a call and talk to the customer, now it has shot down to 1 minute, then the business is saving money on the probably call durations. Then on the other side, when we talk about how customers are happy with us, can they refer to us? The more customers we have who can refer us to other customers, that means the more business we have, that is the NPS, they can refer to us. That means we are growing our business and we are retaining more. We are not having a lot of customers who are going out. That is the churn. And the satisfaction also brings in the word of mouth, loyalty. So as customer experience, as much as it's a perception, for return on investment to be measured, we have to focus on the root cause of why are these issues happening and how can we prevent them from happening again. Then we'll see a ripple effect on probably the CX budget, because now we'll not have more of these problems to resolve, but we will tackle them head on, like be very proactive in managing these complaints that come through. So CX, it's the perception, but again, how are you managing the root cause? And then the other metrics, like I said, customer satisfaction, NPS, that can help us prove to the business that, look, if we are doing well here, that means we are bringing more customers, more business, and referral, probably word of mouth. Yeah.
Right, Evas. We're winding down the interview now, but before we let you go, what parting shot can you share with those individuals that are owning businesses and maybe those in the C-suite, in as far as customer experience is concerned? What advice would you like to share with those?
I love this common quote by Maya Angelou, where she says that people will forget what you said, will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So for every business, just imagine, how are you making your customers feel? And key things to note, for any business to thrive, you need to address why you exist in that business. Why did you start that business? What is the problem that you're meant to solve? Once you have that right, then the whole business will just align, because you're at the C-suite, you understand the why. So the rest of the business will just have to align. And of course, you have to give people reason to remember. When probably if you're no longer existing, they'll remember that this is how you made them feel. And also knowing that, lastly, that the customer experience is all about how we treat our employees. There is a quote by Richard Branson where he says that if you take care of your employees, they will take care of your business. So the C-suite should not only think of the external customer, let them also focus on that employee who's providing that service, who's ensuring that the experience is good. Okay. At the end of the day, we'll see our CX helping the business cut costs, especially in marketing costs, advertising costs, because there is an experience you're giving out and people are marketing your product at a free, there is no cost attached to that. So that's probably my parting shot. Let people remember us for what we made them feel, and also appreciate the fact that we're in the business to solve a certain problem.
Right. And lastly, how can anyone that's watching and listening to this connect with you and maybe learn more about you?
They can connect with me on LinkedIn. That is my most preferred. Evas Bazraka Shekiza. There is my contact number, my email, and they'll be rest assured to reach me, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much, Evas, for taking the time to share with us your knowledge on customer experience. I'm sure everyone watching and listening has learned a lot, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you.